Hi, I'm Claire Tompkins, the Clutter Coach, and this is the Organize Your Life podcast. I am passionate about organizing because it makes my clients' lives so much easier, more relaxed, and with more time to spend the way they want to. That's what organizing is all about, not about being neat or having the right containers. It's about getting more time for what matters to you. My specialty is chunking down this big topic so it's not overwhelming. That's the concept behind my book, 5 Minutes to a Relaxing Bedroom. And that's the concept for this podcast too, which is based on my first book, 52 Simple Ways to Get Organized. Both books are available on my website and on Amazon. In every podcast, I'll lay out a simple organizing concept and tell you why it's important. I'll include an action step at the end so you can start practicing right away. Okay, here we go. Welcome to podcast number 22, which is about putting away project or work materials after you use them. It's based on simple way number 20 of my book. Even if you were super organized, all of your stuff doesn't remain neatly stored all the time. You have certain things out because you're using them. You take them out of their storage locations as needed for whatever project you're doing, whether that's getting out the mixer and bowls and measuring spoons to make cookies, or pulling out a yoga mat, exercise ball, and rebounder for exercise. If you've got an office or workroom that allows you to keep project materials out, that's great. If the workspace you're using is shared by other types of project or other people, not so great. It's a drag going into the kitchen to make dinner when the person who was in there before you, which could have been you, has left behind a tsunami of baking gear filling the sink and the countertop, right? I developed this concept years ago helping a client who worked at home. She and her partner had a small apartment and the only place for my client's desk was in the kitchen. During the workday, my client pulled out books, notebooks, files, and paper to do her writing work. She spread them across her desk and a nearby table. When her partner came home and wanted to use the kitchen, this became a problem. Her partner felt that the work material was taking over the kitchen. It looked messy and it got in the way. My client felt stuck because she didn't want to change her spread out way of working. To her, putting things away meant storing them, the way she would with something she wasn't going to use again for a while. That would create more effort every day to set up for work. We figured out a way for her to close up shop without completely putting things away, partly by using a rolling table that fit under her desk when not in use. That hid the papers effectively and let my client leave papers arranged in the way she would need them to start working again in the morning. It also freed up the kitchen table for kitchen use. She still needed to get used to the idea of closing up shop. She developed a routine of opening her shop in the morning, having her work day, and then closing it in the evening. The idea was that her work, or any project, had 3 phases: setup, work, and close up. Time needed to be budgeted for all 3. She also needed to put away other materials like office supplies in order to make the desk look presentable. And she quickly came to see the benefit of that because she could then find everything she needed easily. Think of putting things away as setting up your environment so you can hit the ground running when you start again. It's much more inviting to sit down in a clean workspace when you begin your day. It also helps keep project elements from getting lost or separated from each other. My client's partner was much happier with the new home office routine. When you live with others, it's important for domestic harmony that all members of the household keep common areas free for use. And yes, in my professional experience, it's very common for one person in a couple to be organized and the other not to be. Look for ways to make your project easier to put away. Here are some ideas. Have materials in containers that are easy to get out of their designated spots and also easy to get back in. This is a key organizing concept. You are much more likely to put things away if it's easy to do. Find places to store your supplies and equipment near the place where you use them. When things are far from where you use them, you often cut corners by not bringing out all the supplies, which means you spend time going back and forth when you need them. Keeping things near where you use them is another key organizing concept. Again, it's about making it easier to put things away so that you won't balk or let it go till later. One reason clients give me for not putting things away turns out to be that they either think it'll take too much time, so they put it off, or it will take no time, so they can do it anytime. Isn't that interesting? I remind them that things that can be done anytime hardly ever get done unless there's some other pressure to do them, like a family member complaining. So don't let that happen to you. Right now, your task is to put a timer with your project supplies and use it to end your work early enough to do the cleanup part. Hey, thanks for listening. I'm Claire Tompkins, the Clutter Coach. If you like the show, I'd love it if you'd leave a rating and review it in iTunes. It's also available in SoundCloud and Stitcher, and you can review it there too. And you can subscribe, so the podcast will be ready and waiting for you to listen to. You'll find the show notes on my blog at www.cluttercoach.net, and you can check out my store to find books I've written and books and products I recommend, plus some freebies. And come back for more next week.